NVIDIA is making a $100 billion investment in OpenAI and working together to build 10 gigawatt.
This is the biggest AI infrastructure project in history. This is the largest computing project in history.
And if we end up misspending a couple of $100 billion, I think that is going to be very unfortunate.
Building this infrastructure is critical to everything we want to do. Without doing this, we cannot deliver the services people want. We can't keep making better models. And
food prices went up by 0.5% from July to August. That's the fastest monthly increase since fall of 2022.
Now that we really see what's on the near-term horizon of how good the models are getting, the new use cases that are being enabled, what people want to do, this is like the fuel that we need to drive improvement, to drive better models, to drive revenue, everything. So
when you're building a planetary scale infrastructure that's really required to allow artificial intelligence to reach its potential, that you are going to have to plug into really all of the resources that are available, and those are private sector resources and those are public sector resources.
Server. And so we're able to actually create new breakthroughs, new models, to be able to actually solve problems like create cures for diseases, and to actually be able to empower every individual in business, because we'll be able to reach the next level of scale.
Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella telling employees the tech giant has work to do to smooth relations with employees after announcing several rounds of layoffs.
While companies pour hundreds of billions into artificial intelligence, grocery prices keep climbing. While they build futuristic data centers, our own infrastructure, schools, hospitals, transit, crumbles. And here's the kicker. Many of these firms aren't even profitable. They're net losing companies, burning cash on promises of tomorrow while cutting jobs today. The result? More layoffs, more joblessness, more families left juggling bills. So the question isn't just why they're spending this money, it's why we're the ones paying the price.
So what are we really watching here? Is this the birth of a trillion-dollar AI empire, or the setup for the biggest bubble since .com? Are we building a smarter future, or sleepwalking into a new kind of dystopian society where machines thrive while people scrape by? Some experts say the hype is justified. Others warn the crash will be brutal. What do you think? Drop your take below, because this isn't just their story, it's ours. And the more voices we have, the harder it is to ignore.
Don't forget to subscribe and like if you want more of this.
$100 billion. Where does that kind of money even come from? Investors chasing hype? Taxpayers footing hidden subsidies? Or is it just debt stacked on debt, waiting to collapse? While companies gamble at this scale, the rest of us are told to cut back, save more, expect less. If they can conjure billions overnight from machines, why can't they fix the systems people actually live in? Power points at machines, not at you.
Hundreds of billions dumped, poured into AI. Shouldn't that kind of investment mean more jobs, higher salaries, a stronger economy? Instead, we're seeing layoffs, shrinking paychecks, families falling behind. And on the infrastructure front, we can wire deserts with data centers, but can't keep classrooms cool in summer. If we can build sprawling server farms overnight, why can't we fix roads, schools, hospitals? We may not just be excluded from this future, we may be forced to pay for it through higher prices, higher bills, and public money funneled into private empires.
What's unfolding is described as a planetary scale of infrastructure. Data centers the size of stadiums, power grids rerouted to feed machines, and fiber stretched across continents. The ambition is breathtaking, the speed unlike anything we've seen in public works. Entire landscapes are being reshaped not for cities or schools, but for servers. It's a vision of progress measured in terawatts and terabytes, built almost overnight. The question is not whether it can be built, Clearly, it can. But what it means when the future's foundations are laid for machines first and people second. But how will this planetary infrastructure be paid for? Companies invest billions, yes, but the costs ripple outward. Data centers consume vast amounts of electricity and water, straining local grids and supplies. Communities may see higher utility bills. Governments eager to host the next hub offer subsidies and tax breaks, public money redirected to private projects. And when demand surges, it's households that face rising prices. The ambition is planetary, but the burden may be personal, carried in monthly bills, in public budgets, and in the quiet trade-offs between what gets built and what gets left behind. For centuries, machines replaced muscle. Steam engines, assembly lines, robots on factory floors. Now, for the first time, machines are replacing minds. Software that drafts contracts, algorithms that trade stocks, models that write code. Jobs once considered untouchable, law, finance, even technology itself are suddenly in question. Companies call it efficiency. Workers call it layoffs. The pattern is familiar. Fewer people, more output. But this time, it's not just physical labor being automated. It's decision-making, creativity, judgment. And the question quietly lingers. If the machine can do the work of the mind, what role is left for us? Every headline promises the same thing. Artificial intelligence will boost productivity. And in one sense, it does. Fewer people, more output, faster results. But productivity for whom? For companies, it means lower payrolls and higher margins. For investors, it means stock prices climbing. For workers, it often means doing more with less, until less becomes nothing at all. And here's the paradox. If wages shrink and jobs disappear, who is left to buy the products these machines produce? Growth without customers isn't growth. It's a system quietly consuming itself. One post online captured the feeling better than any press release ever could. Quote, AI doesn't pay rent. AI doesn't get shut-off notices. It just keeps running, guzzling electricity and water like a king at a feast. Meanwhile, we're out here skipping meals, juggling bills, wondering which payment can wait another week. It's not a statistic. It's a lived reality. Machines run endlessly while people ration. And in that contrast, the promise of progress feels inverted, a future where the system feeds the servers first and leaves the rest of us scraping for scraps. Alongside the frustration, there are forecasts. Economists warn that by the end of this decade, white-collar incomes could fall by as much as 40 to 50%. Work once considered secure in finance, law, even technology itself is now exposed to automation. The numbers are stark. Fewer jobs, lower wages, shrinking stability. Companies may celebrate short-term savings, but the long-term picture is harder to ignore. An economy where millions earn less is an economy with fewer customers. Growth built on collapsing incomes is less a future of prosperity and more a future of fragility. For many households, the gap between income and expenses is already bridged by debt. Credit cards, personal loans, buy now, pay later plans, temporary lifelines that stretch thinner each month. As wages stagnate and prices rise, balances grow heavier and interest rates climb. What begins as survival becomes a spiral. Payments messed, fees added, options narrowing. At the same time, governments compete to host new data centers, offering subsidies and tax breaks, public money flowing out as private debt piles up. The contrast is stark. A future financed at planetary scale, while families finance their present on borrowed time. When incomes fall, spending falls. When spending falls, companies earn less. And when companies earn less, the response is almost always the same. More layoffs, more cuts, more reliance on machines to do the work of people. Each turn of the cycle tightens the loop. Fewer jobs, weaker demand, shrinking growth. What begins as efficiency becomes erosion. An economy that replaces its workers also erases its customers, until the system is left chasing growth in a market that no longer exists. It is a cycle that feeds on itself and leaves less behind each time it turns. The wealth created by artificial intelligence doesn't vanish, it concentrates. A handful of firms, a handful of investors, a handful of executives walk away with fortunes measured in billions. For everyone else, the gains are harder to see. Wages flatten, costs rise, opportunities narrow. The technology that promised to level the playing field instead tilts it further. Progress is real, but uneven. And as the gap widens, it becomes more than economic. It becomes social, political, generational. A system that builds planetary infrastructure for machines while leaving people behind risks becoming an inequality machine of its own. So this is where we stand. Billions invested, planetary infrastructure rising, jobs replaced, debts mounting, inequality deepening. Is this the dawn of a new golden age or the setup for the biggest bubble of our lifetime? Are we building a smarter society or a future where machines thrive while people struggle? The truth is, no one can say for sure. But one thing is clear. The choices being made now will decide who eats like a king and who is left with scraps. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more of this, because this story is only just beginning.